Hello everybody, it's Lucas Mackintosh here and I'm back with a brand new retro let's play, and today and over the course of several videos I'm going to be playing Ghouls and Ghosts for the Sega Master System. I just want to say before I start, thank you so much for taking the time to check out one of my retro let's play videos. I really appreciate it. If you're indeed enjoying my content and would like to see more, why not hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share with everybody that you know, anybody you think might be interested in this type of content, because it really helps YouTube's algorithm and it allows people to find and access my content on a regular basis. And lastly, please don't forget to check me out on Twitter at DodgeThisGame for all the latest happenings on my YouTube channel Dodge This. Okay, so this is going to be commentary recorded after I've done the gameplay. I've played this game full. I've been through it twice, which is what you kind of have to do. It's the sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. It's a lot more forgiving than Ghosts and Goblins because there are armour upgrades you can get, there are spells, weapons. It still puts you through the ringer though occasionally, and basically you have to rescue the princess again and try and defeat, I think it's Loki in this game, whom is actually the devil or Satan, but they couldn't say Satan back in the day for fear of offending people, so I think they renamed him Loki. Either way, Arthur's got to don his armour once more and work his way through some really tricky areas. So I spent about 4 hours playing this game, because essentially, and I will explain later on, you need a special weapon in order to get into the final room, and if you don't have it, then you have to wait until the game decides to give it to you, but you can only get the second weapon on your second playthrough. It's very confusing, but I promise you it will make sense. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, let's do it. Let's play some Ghouls and Ghosts. So yeah, once again, this is footage I recorded the other night. It took me 4 hours to get through. I've edited down the footage as best as I can, so here we go. Alright, so we're starting off in this open area, much like the first game. As I said, the story is pretty much identical to Ghosts and Goblins. Arthur's got to rescue Princess Tamara, I believe, from the devil, and it is the devil even though they call it Loki. It's really weird, and there are some subtle differences between this and Ghosts and Goblins, and I think other versions of this game. Chests will come out of the ground at certain points, and they'll either be one of two things: a shop where you can choose an armour upgrade, weapon upgrade, or things of that nature. You can get a helmet which allows you to cast spells for longer. You can get shoes which affect your jumping, I believe, and maybe your speed. So you need to be careful when choosing the right type of shoes, because some are actually quite slippy. And there are moments in this game where you need to jump very precisely, so it's all about kind of experimentation. Now, when you play this second time round, and you have to actually get the proper ending, you need the gold armour. Now there's conflicting statements as to the weapon you're supposed to have, because basically the game says, right, we're sending you back to the beginning, you need the, I think, the gold armour, and they say the strongest weapon. So it's hard to say. Just in my experience, I got the gold armour and I used the fireball. I thought the discus was the strongest weapon because that was what somebody said online on an FAQ. It actually says that, oh, the discus is the strongest, and so I wasn't actually able to get the psycho cannon, because what happens is it's totally random. Second time round, when you've got the golden armour and what the game says is the strongest weapon, the chest randomly opens up and it's a room just like a shop, and it's got the goddess of power in, but it's never in the same place, so you have to play the game and be patient and wait. And if you haven't got it by your second playthrough, and say you get to, I think, the very last stage, it sends you back to 5-1, so it won't send you back to the beginning if you've never got it in the second playthrough, so you have a chance to get it there and then, so that's good, I suppose. Very confusing, I know, and I do apologise, but it'll all become clear. This game really frazzled my head playing it, so that's why another reason why I'm kind of doing the commentary now. So yeah, I will say this game is actually a lot of fun as well, but it took me a couple of hours to realise that. It's not as hard. It's a hard game, don't get me wrong, but it's more like a test of memory, you know, like where the enemies are going to be and what you need to do. And once you've got that, it becomes less frustrating and you will kind of get into it, I think, anyway. And it's definitely a game I will replay, although the only incentive is it's quite addictive, strangely enough. So yeah, I just died there. So you will die often, but there's infinite continues, so you don't have to worry about like Oh, I've died. I have to start all over again. That would be too cruel. I actually think as well, when Ghosts and Goblins was re-released, I think they released it with the Game Boy Color. I noticed they put a password system in, so that was certainly very interesting. So I've been turned into a duck there by the sorcerers. That's pretty cool as well, that they implemented that. I think the thing with this version is, when I get to review it, is the only problem is there's a lot of slowdown at certain points when there's too many enemies on screen, but it doesn't really impede your gameplay much or your progress. It's only kind of here and there, you know, it's just if you let the screen fill up too much. But this is quite an ambitious game. It uses the Master System really well, and you'd be forgiven for thinking this looks almost 16-bit. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Oh god. So yeah, I'm hoping to upgrade my armour as well. So it's a great game to play though late at night, you know, when there's nothing on and you've got a bit of time. Look at that tree, looks really pissed off. So we're going to go to the right now, and I love the little humorous touches like Arthur's in his boxers if he takes a hit, you know, things like that. So we're going to be facing bosses as well. The bosses are really easy. You might die on them once or twice, but yeah, they go down fairly quickly, which is what you want really. And there you go. You can kind of just spam them to death. They're a little bit challenging, but not really. So this guy's really easy. I said they made a few compromises with the bosses on this version of the game as well, because I think that monster on the Mega Drive is supposed to have a head on this huge metallic thing, but here it's just a floating head. And you get the key and we go to the next area. Now this next level, everybody says the same thing. This level is the hardest level, it seems, but you've just got to know what to do. I think I died on this level time and time again. Basically it's a crawl. You're in this little village area. There are a few chests. You've got these rocks which kind of turn into these lizard rock creatures, I guess, and there's also collapsing bridges near the end. All you got to do is just know where to jump, and once you know where to jump, you'll be fine. If you go into this game blind, as I have, then you will die time and time again, because you won't know the bridge, where the bridge collapses and stuff, and that can be the most frustrating part, because it throws quite a lot at you. But once you work it out, it's really quite simple. It's very bizarre. And also the treasure chests as well tend to be totally random. I've had them be like sorcerers like this all the time, you know, and I've just I'd avoid them because I know what was in them, but then I'd cheekily try and open them and then they'd be shops. So it's never, you know, it's never always consistently the same. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, so it's all part of that random factor and challenge as well. And I don't think this has ever been mentioned before, but Arthur looks a little bit like Daniel Bryan from the WWE. See what I mean about the collapsing bridges? You have to know where to go. So I think that's very cruel of Capcom to put it there. You have to know exactly where to jump. Like here, I think it collapses again like there, but you have to use that momentum to get up the sandbank and then up here. And another thing, these keep respawning for no reason. There's no reason for them to be there once you get rid of them, but I don't know, Capcom were like, no, we're going to respawn them when they die. So you have to jump over, and you have to jump over that. And I'll show you what I mean about how cruel this is, because check it out, you need to jump here, otherwise you'll fall all the way down to the bottom. And we're on to another boss. I think it's the devil, who's kind of the same from the first Ghosts and Goblins. He's a little bit less annoying on this version. You can just shoot him. He throws they look like ninja stars to me, so you can easily take him down. And boom, and then we're on the burning village. Now this caused me a lot of problems, because you can't jump directly from the edge of the cliff edge, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. You have to jump just before, because Arthur just won't make it, so everything has to be so precise. I think people might think that the controls are just no good on this game. It's not that, it's just that you have to know when to jump, and you have to kind of adapt to the game in order to enjoy the controls. I know how that sounds, but it's not like Mario where the controls are totally perfect. And to be honest, once you get into it, you realise the controls suit this game. You know, it just takes a while to kind of jive with it, or click with it, I suppose. Once you know what to do, it's not too bad. But yeah, I end up taking shed loads of hits here. and it took me for the longest time ages to do these 2 jumps, which now I can do no problem. But you've got these little spurts of fire that keep coming down, but you need to jump just after they've appeared so you can get across to the other side. You try and jump before and you could slip into the edge. And there's another one there, so I've got to be careful of. So I'm just going to wait, I think. Should I wait? I will go for it. There we are, and then you can jump here. So yeah, it seems difficult at first, but you know, you'll soon get through it. Well, is this another boss? Yes, it is. So it's very fast moving, this game. That's another thing as well. Once you get good at it, you'll be breezing through it in no time. But yeah, I definitely play this again. You know, I actually kind of like it now, strangely enough. Now I understand it. You know, it's kind of like you just gotta get used to it and how it plays, and then once it's clicked with you, you'll be fine. So I think this is like the Cerberus or something, this boss here, but I'm getting creamed here. I do need some better armour though, that's the one thing we'll be trying to collect. So let's just try and take this guy down as quickly as I can. So yeah, I'm kind of just editing this in parts, you know. If I was to like talk for the whole thing, it would be like 4 hours, so I'm doing it bit by bit. This is like my first playthrough of the game. So I'm just going to edit it, split it up into manageable parts. Hopefully it doesn't get too boring. If you see me dying time and time again, I do apologise, but I have to emphasise and get the point across of how difficult this game can be. You know, I don't want to kind of like make it look like I sped through the game really easily, because I didn't, but at the same time I don't want it to look too boring where I die and die again. But it's trying to find that happy medium, I suppose. That's it. Right, this level now looks more intimidating, but it's not too bad. We're on this lift which moves with Arthur, so you can destroy these. I guess they're statues of warriors coming out the wall. You can destroy them or kind of avoid them. We have to do some very precise moving in this one, because if we get it wrong, then we're not going to make it to the next area. So let's just take these little buggers out. As I said, there are occasions in this game where, again, this isn't as hard as Ghosts and Goblins, but towards the end, these little buggers, and like, they just come for you. It's like, the game does get very annoying. Not as annoying as Ghosts and Goblins, but it's kind of up there almost as annoying. But check it out. Now I need to move this way, I think. It's kind of confuses you a little bit. It makes you think you've got to go a certain way, but there's a treasure chest here, so I'm dead anyway. You know, you have to like go for them. They could be shops, they could be sorcerers, you never know. Alright, let's try this again. Come on, you bugger. Oh, it's hard as well. It's purposely built to be this frustrating, so you're aiming for the enemies, but they're so well programmed that they'll just whiz around the screen. But the cool thing about this game is you can continue from the last checkpoint you were on, or I think the beginning of the last level you were on, so it's not too bad. And the levels aren't super long. It's just like a test of memory. It'll give you a task to do where you have to learn what to do. And you will die, but you'll learn what to do by trial and error. You know, there's a freaking stage with water, and I think these little snakes that look like one giant hand that... because the frame rate's so kind of rubbish, if you grace it just a little bit, it kills you instantly, so you have to know either how to shoot it or how to jump over it at a certain point. So it's little things like that. But all in all, this is a good game. I would definitely recommend this if you're after something different anyway, because trust me, this certainly is different and will keep you busy. You know, it'll keep you challenged. Oh, this bit I can never work out how to do. I don't know if I can shoot through the wall, whether I need a special weapon, but look, I'm not entirely sure how to get through this situation, so I'm probably going to have to take a dumb hit now, because there's like nothing that I can do. There probably is a way of doing it. I probably need a better weapon, but you know, on the plus side, this game has many pluses, believe it or not. You can cast spells, and I feel so dumb because I only discovered that towards the end of the game. I mean, if you press pause on the Master System, it brings up a list of spells. Right, found a shop here. So, let's see. What do I want? There we go. so you can get the dagger. But yeah, you can get spells, and I didn't know how to cast them, so I had the spells, so I had to Google to work out how to cast spells. You select the spell from the menu, and then you hold down, I think, button 1, and then that allows you to cast the spells. And if I'd have known that, it would have made things a little bit easier, but I don't know why, I couldn't get them to work for the longest time. It was just the simplest thing. Oh, and this stage sucks as well. We're on these friggin' tongs, and we have to navigate our way through, so yeah, this bit's a real bitch, so I do empathise with people who struggle with this bit. But again, you just gotta know what to do, and again, have the right shoes, and you know, it's about luck as well, I think, because it's a combination of luck and skill. The enemies have got to like just leave you alone, because sometimes they'll change position, sometimes they'll disappear, sometimes you got to take them out, otherwise they're with you all the time. It's bizarre, this game. Like this one, you have to wait for the lifts to appear, because we need to move, so I can't move until, there we are. You have to watch out for the mouths, and look at that, things, if the game throws you things like that, and there's a freaking sorcerer there, there's like, and I think there's another, oh, see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. It's things like that. It's like, you have to learn that that's going to happen, so the game kills you before you kill it, basically. So, I could do with an arm upgrade. Oh, yeah, the amount of times that happened to me, just falling to the bottom. So, yeah, I have edited this anyway, so it shouldn't go on for too long, but I needed to show you guys how difficult this level was, and how difficult some parts of this game is. Check it out. This bit shouldn't be this difficult. I mean, it's pretty straightforward for a platformer, you know, the rules and everything. But look, I've been turned into a duck and I can't get that chest. So I need to turn back into Arthur if I can. But the problem is, I'm being chased by that thing down there. I've just taken a hit, and it's like, what can I do? Yeah, that chest I think is a shop. If I can get in that shop, then probably upgrade my armour or my shoes. So I do like this game because it's strategy. You can kind of strategize your way through the game. If you want the best armour, get the best armour. I kind of recommend doing that, actually, because you do need to soak up those hits, particularly later on. You know, you need to save as many as you can. As I said, this game is not super difficult. It can be done, I think, if you know what you're doing. I remember the first time I played this, oh my god, it took me ages. It probably took me longer to do this time around anyway, because it's been a while. Right, oh, see that? I opened the door, but I couldn't get to it because of that jagged friggin' rock. I couldn't get in there, so. But there's only, I think, about 6 levels or 6 stages, but they're all broken up into kind of mini parts. So, as I said, it's a great game to play, and once you know what you're doing, you can probably get through it quite quickly. Will keep you busy though. In fact, just watching this is making me itching to give it another go, actually. I might check out to see if anyone's sped run this game, to see how fast they can do it, and that would be interesting to see. See, look at that. The way the game's programmed is they've got 2 chests. One's a sorcerer, and one's a shop, and I need to get into the shop, and it's like, look how difficult they make it. Oh, see that? I just can't get in there because, again, my shoes are too slippery, I think, so I need better shoes. I think the gold shoes are the ones that can kind of, are the best ones to get, because they're pretty sturdy, I think, and these ones just slip you about all over the place. So that's where part of my problem was with this game. I was trying to get used to freaking this stage. I think it looks cool though with the tongues. I thought it was very inventive. I think in Japan, I was watching a video, I think Ghosts and Goblins and its sequel were called, is it Ghosts and Goblins was like Demon Village, and I think Ghouls and Ghosts was like Bigger Demon Village or something like that. And believe it or not, the duck can be useful. It can. I've had occasions when I needed to jump, and because it was Arthur I couldn't do it, so I turned into a duck, and my jumping was a little bit more steadier, so I was able to use the duck to get across some tricky platforms. I need to get into that friggin' treasure chest, and it's driving me nuts now. Come on, game, just let me in. Just let me have it. It's all I want is that chest. There we go. Right. So we're in here. There's the green shoes or there's the dagger. So I choose the green shoes. Probably the... Oh, there you go, and I died. So yeah, I could have chose the dagger, so it's all a case of hindsight, really. I would say armour and weapons are probably the most important thing on this game. I will say as well that, like, for me, there's no downside. The weapons are all good. You know, like I know in Ghosts and Goblins there's this thing, get the knife, get the knife, get the knife. But in this game, the weapons are all useful, I found.